Hello again, Steve here with a few comments out on the trail. I don't know if you've heard about the term bug out. It's becoming more common today. It used to be a military term, which basically meant get out of your current situation fast. And a lot of people now are making bug out kits, which I'm going to be doing fairly shortly. And when I do, I will present it here in a video as to what I think is important to have for those circumstances. I mean, a lot of us have these sort of things to some extent. I mean, what is a first aid kit? You know, if we go camping or whatever and somebody steps on a sharp piece of glass and you can't get to any emergency ward, well, you have your first aid kit, right? It's prudence. What is insurance? But something that you hope you never have to use, but if you have to use it, you've got it. What is a fire extinguisher underneath the kitchen sink for? Hope you never have to use it, but darn it, I've been in a situation once where if I didn't have a fire extinguisher, I'd have been in trouble. So that's all a bug out kit is. I mean, I think sometimes in terms of living here on the prairies, and it can be minus 30 in the winter, and most houses, including the one I'm living in now, run on electricity, right? Electricity goes down for 3 or 4 days at minus 30. I've got really no backup. Whereas some sort of a bug out kit where you've got an emergency ration, you've got a little stove in there, you've got some sleeping bags, and maybe even extended farther to a family where you've got a camper outside that has got an independent stove in it or something like that can be fired up and you can get through. I mean, these sort of things are not based in paranoia. They're based in acknowledging the uncontrollables, right? Having a fire extinguisher is not basing oneself in paranoia. Having a first aid kit is not basing oneself in paranoia, I don't think. Having insurance on something is not basing oneself on paranoia, although a lot of times it's basically imposed and it's required. But those other things, first aid kits and fire extinguishers, a lot of smoke alarms in the house, I don't think they are. So why not take it a step farther? And you know, the thing is, I don't know this for sure, but it seems like looking more and more likely, if we were to study history at all, that some sort of breakdown is going to happen sooner or later in terms of social order. And I mean, all we have to do is look at Greece, and they got an extra band-aid which will last until it's worn out. But eventually the Germans and these folks are going to say, you know what, guys, like, we can't just keep bailing you out forever. And when that happens, then what'll be the next one? What'll be the next one? What'll be the next one? And a lot of places are no better off because countries as we know them have been spending more than they're bringing in. Debts are going up and up and up and up. Interest rates are going down so that the servicing on those debts can be lower. But when you get to zero interest rates, what do you do then? And the debt keeps going up. Servicing keeps going up. Eventually there'll be a reckoning. All we got to do is look at history, and all empires ended the same way. I came across some information, which I had the data right in front of me now, but when Rome finally collapsed, its population went to about 10%. I mean, just complete destitution. And if we're prepared a little bit for those around us and ourselves, well, we'll just have that, right? I mean, will it work? I don't know. But will a fire extinguisher work? Maybe, maybe not. If we use it right, it probably will. It gives us at least a starting chance. Will a first aid kit work if we're bleeding, really bad? It might. But at least it's good to have. At least it's good to have, and at least it's good to practice as well. So I'm going to share with you, once I've got my bug out kit put together, what I've actually got in it. And I'm going to share with you what I'm going to do with it, because it's one thing to have it, another thing to actually use it in practice. Just like it's good to, I encourage everybody who's got a fire extinguisher to actually use it sometime and then have it recharged. Go down to the local fire hall and ask them, can you guys give us a little tutorial for our community or our family on how to use this fire extinguisher? Almost nobody knows how to use a fire extinguisher. Perhaps the same thing with a first aid kit, especially for kids. First aid, of course, it's a great thing to have, right? Even for young kids. And Young kids are very rational, very curious, and very up to doing an adventure like that. A great family thing to do. Hope this was helpful. Steve here again, chatting about bug-out kits, and I'm going to have mine up and ready probably within the next 6 months, I hope. I'm just piecing it together right now. Quality of life? Well, if we're not prepared and something comes, our quality is not that great. So if we are prepared, our quality is going to be a little bit better. Hopefully this is helpful. We'll talk again soon. Bye-bye for now.